Welcome back to the big program. It is basketball season. We're in the midst of it. The Joe Armijo Tournament at Academy is going on right now, which is one of our favorites. Actually, take you behind the curtain. We're going to leave here after today and head over to the Joe Armijo, but you won't see that till Monday, this episode. But we're excited today because it's not often that we get to welcome in the Gatorade Player of the Year. Well, that's because there's only one of them, and that's Las Cruces' Deuce Benjamin. Deuce, welcome to the program, man.
What's happening?
It's good to have you. First off, your dad always gives me a lot of grief about being a northern bias, Albuquerque bias guy, right?
Yeah.
But I think those days are over because you're the only guy ever to get a ride to the studio, like from the team hotel to the studio. That's a big deal, right?
Yeah, it must be a big deal.
All right, that is a big deal, man. So we got a lot to get to today. Obviously, we want to talk hoops. We want to talk about what you're doing on the floor, off the floor. We want to talk next level stuff in college. But I want to start away from the floor a little bit. You watch the show occasionally?
Yeah, I watch it.
Okay, all right. So you probably saw Sean Johnson's episode where he was kind of doing a little chirping about your 2K game, right? Not being up to par. And then, we're out and Exodus Airs kind of jumps in the fray, talking about your 2K games just not up to their level, man. So the floor is yours to respond to that.
Well, I've never seen X play 2K before, so it must mean he's not that good.
Okay.
Because I always hang out with him, and I've never seen him pick up a controller.
Really?
So,
he's that?
Yeah, so obviously he doesn't even play games.
What about Sean? Where's Sean?
Sean, I don't even know Sean because he's not good at all.
No?
Yeah.
So who's on your level? Who are you competing against right now? Like you?
Well, I play against kids that are good.
All right. Okay.
And I've never played X or Sean because they're not good.
So they're like still playing in rookie mode, is what you're saying? While
they're
you're playing
rookie,
like on pro.
I'm all Madden, all pro. Like
okay. All right. So any guys on your team kind of into that whole thing?
Yeah.
Who's strong on your squad?
Man, one of our guys, shout out to Timmy Wilkins, he's legit on 2K. Him, my guy Abraham Mitchell, he's nice at 2K. And those are really the two main guys. Really.
Have you ever beat someone so bad where they do the whole controller disconnecting? Has that happened?
I made him quit. I made a bunch of people quit.
Okay.
Like I made one of my best friends, Dustin, quit. I made him quit. Like I'm just the guy that makes people quit. Like
now, are you playing like as a stacked roster? Or are you playing as like the Cleveland Cavaliers, or what's going on?
Like we play all time. I play all time.
Okay.
So like we'll play all time teams, and I just smack them.
All right, who do you pick on your all-time team?
All-time Lakers.
Okay, all right, well that's kind of like a cheat code, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but it don't matter because they use the Warriors, and everybody thinks the Warriors are nice. So
they are nice, but I mean, when you're talking about Kareem and those cats, that's a little different. All right, so we get that all straightened out now, right? So they're just talking noise.
No, yeah, I don't listen to the noise.
All right. Is there anyone in Albuquerque that you do play some 2K with?
I haven't played no one from Albuquerque.
So you're laying out a challenge here. Like, if Sean wants some of that smoke, like, can he get it?
Sean,
like, does he know how to get a hold of you?
Is this camera right here?
Yeah, there's the camera.
Sean and X, if you want smoke in 2K, let me know.
All right, so they know how to get a hold of you, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's get to hoops. Well, first of all, you're in the middle of a season where you guys are definitely the front runner, and everyone's talking about your squad, right? Mm-hmm. So how is that mentally? Where are you guys at as a group?
Mentally, we're still focused on what we're trying to do as a team. We don't let all the outside noise get to us because my dad here and my coach, he keeps us level-headed in practice, always going hard in practice, so he just keeps us level-headed. We don't listen to that outside stuff.
It's a little different, right? When you're being hunted, you get everyone's best shot, don't you? Talk about that. I mean, now you've spent years in the program now, where maybe you guys were doing some of the hunting, maybe in your earlier years. Now, I mean, you got the target, right? Are you getting everyone's best shot?
Yeah, we got West Mesa got their best shot yesterday. That was kind of a tough game that first half because they was making a lot of threes. So I mean, kind of had to focus up a little bit more and tighten up on defense. So.
Let's talk about that game a little bit. I was so impressed with just the way you absolutely controlled the entire game. It wasn't just offensively. It seemed like defense, the pace, whatever you wanted that game to be, you were dictating the pace. You were dictating the terms of that engagement. I mean, is that kind of – how has that happened? How have you been able to just control all aspects of the game?
Well, I mean, point guard supposed to control the team, control the game, and I mean, me controlling the game is just what I do. So just giving people the ball, scoring, playing defense. I mean, controlling the game.
How many assists did you end up with? I don't keep assist stats, but
I don't even know.
It seemed like in that first half, every field goal that wasn't one of yours, you were assisting that field goal. I mean, you were really locked in against West Mesa. Just talk about that. 13, our statistician says.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously I had a double-double, so that's
Right.
crazy.
Is that a career high in assists? That is a career high, isn't it?
Yeah. I had 12 against Roswell, 13 yesterday, so yeah.
All right, I want to rewind a little bit to the game where you guys played Chapin. Obviously, that was a really big deal at the beginning of your season. We'll talk about that. Tell our audience about that. They obviously have a big deal recruit on their side. Tell us about that and then the environment.
Well, for the people that didn't watch that game, they definitely missed out. That's all I gotta say. Because for me, as a player, that was the best high school game I've ever played in my whole life. The best high school game. Talking about from coaching standpoint, the stands, like people, a lot of people in the stands, the players, like the talent that you saw, like just that whole thing that went on was just best.
And you can feel that difference as a player, can't you?
Yeah, like you could feel the vibe was different, like from the jump, because of just how the crowd was, like coaches, like talent, like it was crazy. And
obviously they have a top 25 recruit in KJ Lewis, and he had 43, and well, he needed what 45, right? Because you guys came out with the W. So talk about just the ebbs and flow of that game, and you got to see another player of your caliber on the other side, where you don't see that every night. Let's be honest, right? But talk about just the ebbs and flow of that game.
It was crazy because it was just back to back. Like it was a close game, like from the start. So he would score, then we would score. He would go off he had 32 in the second half.
Right.
And I was like, wow, like he's legit. And he's the only person that scored that fourth quarter. So obviously he showed his talent and what he could do. And unfortunately, we came out with the win. So.
Yeah, you came out with the W, and that's a big win at the beginning of your season. Did that game live up to the hype? Did he live up to the hype? Was the experience everything that you hoped it would be?
Yeah, everything was legit. Like everything lived up to what it was going to be. Because there's people talking about it from August, talking about they was going to go to that game, and for it to turn out how it was going to be, just put us right on the map.
And it gets you kind of a nice confidence boost right at the beginning of the season. I mean, yeah, you guys are number one, but still, to have a big atmosphere and a big environment like that. I mean, what did that do to your guys? Kind of get you guys rolling?
We did a lot of things to our guys. Gave them confidence because of how many people a lot of people in the crowd. It gave them a lot of confidence in themselves because they was able to still compete and play hard. So it just gave a lot of confidence in them.
We'll take our first time out here with Deuce. I do want to talk about the work you've been putting in away from the court. Because I remember when you used to have twigs under those sleeves, right?
Yeah.
So, and that ain't the case anymore. So we definitely want to talk about the work you've been putting in. We'll be right back with Deuce Benjamin. Now Hernandez gets a count, and he blows right past it. He's going to go all the way into the trees, had it blocked, back to him, kicks it out for a three, yes! Nothing but nylon for Tapia.
Pass by Trey Rhodes.
With the bat, there's a steal by Archuleta, who's going to put it up and in.
It's up and one off the glass. I heard him call it from here. Alejandro Davalos with the big three.
Basket there to Natalia Chavez. She'll take the long three off the glass. Beautiful shot.
Valdez, little Tucker to Holder. Holy cow.
Oh, another turnover. Will we see it? Throw it down, big man. Josiah Ortiz.
Jackson bounces it in. That one's loose. Keene ends up with the loose ball. Turn around and puts it up and in.
Good, but Roy gets the rebound, puts it right back on. No good, but then he does put it in, and that is good. That is good. Rebound, Bradford, and wow, Marcus King takes it to the basket strong. The two-handed dunk. No good. Lagunas, 2 seconds. Shoot it from half court. And it's in! Brandon Lagunas at the buzzer.
Back with the defending Gatorade Player of the Year, Deuce Benjamin of Las Cruces High. Deuce, I want to get to how you've really developed physically, because, I mean, you've kind of like grown up in front of our eyes here at ProView Networks, because I know your dad used to bring you up for the Marty Sice thing, and, you know, you're always playing up a grade there. And then obviously we talked about earlier, you're always in the Joe Armijo tournament, even back to the days when you were just keeping the book at the scores table. But you, like, this transformation now of your body into a physical player that you are, that had to take a lot of work. So let's talk about that. Where did that start? When did it kind of become just a must to put in that work?
Man, it came from my dad. After my sophomore year, I got my first dunk. My dad just asked me, like, you want to start jumping higher? And I was like, yeah. And then he woke me up that first morning, 6 a.m. We was out on NMSU, that high, you know, that little hill, that long hill.
Right.
He put a weight vest on and just told me to just run up there 6 times. We ran that. Then we'd go in the sand, do like athletic stuff, like jumping, like slides, all that type of stuff.
And it's funny because, you know, you posted some of that on your social, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like the first time it's happening, like the very first week, I can remember watching and like, man, this looks like child abuse. And then by like 3 weeks later, now you're bulking up and like you're into it, and I mean, it is really paid off, because I mean, you have turned into a physical force on the basketball court. But I mean, I don't think people realize the amount of hours that takes away from Las Cruces High, right? Away from practice. It's waking up super early, right? Like, how many hours are you guys putting in during the summer?
A lot. Like, we put in at least, just with workouts, trying to like get athletic, like at least 2 hours, 2-3 hours, like, because we do that every day too, except for Sunday we rest. But besides that, we do that every day.
The end result, obviously, is we've seen some crazy athletic plays, including this lob here that we're going to take a look at in a moment. And you can take us through this right here. I mean, that's the end result, right, of all those hours?
Yeah.
I mean, because those aren't little twigs anymore. Those legs and arms aren't twigs anymore.
No. I mean, that was crazy.
Right. You talk about your dad, obviously, right? So, you know, here's the role model that you have, obviously playing really high-level college basketball, coaching where he played college basketball, and making sure that you are going to get to that level, right? Like, that's got to be tough at times.
Nah, it's not tough. I'm not really concerned about what he did as a player. I'm concerned about what I am as a player and what I'm trying to do. Like, I don't discredit what he did, because I'm proud of what he did for himself. But like,
are those highlights in color, or are they in black and white?
Man, those are in color, man.
Okay, all right. I was just checking.
Yeah,
all right, just checking.
Yeah.
All right. So, but I mean, it's got to be an advantage as well, right? So he's got this plan for you that really can take you to the next level. So, I mean, that's an advantage as well for you, right?
Coming from somebody especially who played the game and played every aspect of it, talking about high school, college, and professional, and I want to do the same thing. So he's giving me a blueprint and a plan for me how to do that.
Well, but what's that dynamic like at home? Like, when is it coach, when is it dad? Has that ever got difficult?
Nah, it was difficult for me freshman year because I know how to process it.
Right.
And a little bit sophomore year, but like now, I always see him as my dad.
Right.
So I don't really trip about coach and dad, because it's always basketball with me.
Does that make the journey more special, right? Especially since the relationship is so strong?
Yeah, it makes the journey real special too, especially.
And I mean, is this something that you guys have always kind of, you know, talked about since? I mean, you played every sport when you were young, right? Tell us about every sport you played.
Yeah, I played basketball, football for a minute, track. I did track for a little bit, baseball, soccer. Like, I did everything.
And when did you kind of start shedding them? Which one went by the way first?
Well, football went first right away. I cannot take a hit.
All right.
Don't touch me.
All right.
That's how I am with football.
Right.
Baseball, Elementary, I couldn't hit the ball. Once kids started throwing it fast, I was like, I'm done.
Okay, all right.
And then,
So it's not that you dropped them; they dropped you.
yeah.
These sports kind of dropped you.
Yeah, I was too much for me. It was
Okay,
too much
all
for
right.
me. But then basketball, I was like, I'm going to just stick with this.
Right.
This is what I love.
Oh, I mean, what's your thought on the whole specialization, right? Some people just play that one sport, others are multiple sports guys, right? Like, what's your whole thought on that as an athlete that's going through it?
If you can do both and be the best at doing both. That's my aspect of it.
Right.
If you're good at football, be the best player that you are in football. If you're good at basketball, be the best player at basketball. That's what I take.
Speaking of being the best at basketball, I want to take us through last year. You know, you had a phenomenal season. I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about the tournament, and I do want to talk about the Gatorade Player of the Year. Let's talk about the tournament first. I mean, you guys go into that thing with pretty high expectations, right, after having a really special regular season. Tell us kind of where you guys were at heading into the state tournament.
It was new for everybody. I know that, especially that COVID year. It was new for everybody because all we were playing was teams in our city. So
Right.
that tournament was just new for everybody, just to get that experience in. And I think hopefully, God willing, if we make it to the pit this year, I mean, I'm sure we'll be all right.
Right. The setback in the championship against Cleveland. Talk about that game. And there's a lot of talent on the floor during that game.
Yeah, there was. That was a good game. Shout out to Trey Watson and Nate Hasbury for winning the state championship. Congrats.
Does that fuel you even more now? You're even hungrier this year.
Yeah.
You know, you got to play a little bit, but you didn't come up. You came up a little short of your team goal.
Yeah, it definitely motivated. Especially Cleveland comes down next Friday come down next Saturday at our gym to play. So I'm definitely motivated for that game.
And then at the end of the year, you get the call about the Gatorade Player of the Year. That's got to be pretty cool. Like, does it? Like, I know the football award gets like you get that call real early in the morning. Is the basketball one the same way? Or tell us about that day.
I was shocked. I was happy. I was so happy because it just meant like all the hours I put in as a junior.
Who told you first? When did it happen? Take us in that moment.
I think I found it on Twitter. And then I didn't believe it, so I just put my phone away. I didn't believe it. And then my dad told me, and I was like, wow, like this.
Right.
They just said congrats, and I was like, on what? He's all like, Gatorade Player of the Year. And I was like, wow, like, damn. Like, I just got nominated, like, the best player in Mexico.
Right, like
that's crazy.
that doesn't leave you, right? Like that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
That puts a huge target on your back for the following year because you won that as a junior, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, did you kind of think about that? Like, man, I gotta go defend this thing one more year, right?
Yeah, it just meant like, you know, still got to keep working, still got to keep pushing. So try and win it this year.
What about, you know, we talked about Las Cruces, the community, right? You're kind of, I would imagine you're kind of a big deal in Las Cruces. I've seen the social now, you know, where you're starting to, you know, the picture requests before and after the game. I know your guys must be giving you a hard time about that, right?
Oh my God, all the time.
Right, but I mean that happens. It happened to J.B. White. It happened to Zach Vigil this year on the football field, right? Like when you're at a certain level, like people start noticing that. How is that? I mean, how did you adjust to that? When did that start happening? When's the first time some little girl from Roswell came up to you and said, "Hey, can I get a picture?"
I was just like, oh wow,
like this is happening?
yeah,
Is that
like,
kind of what
this
you
is real.
thought?
Yeah, I was like, this is real. Like she's not playing. Like I was like, this is really real. Like people aren't messing around. Like I'm really like that guy, I guess, to them. Like they really look up to me.
Right.
And like I didn't know that.
And how special is that when kids, younger kids, I mean, I saw it firsthand with JB, and then I get to see it again with Zach, where kids are literally asking for his gloves after the game. They're looking up to him, right? They're playing Yaffle, and they're wearing number 21 because they want to be like Zach. Like, that's where you're at now. Like, that's kind of a big thing. Like, you feel a responsibility now, like knowing that you're, like, the community's looking up to you?
Not much of a responsibility, but like just a role model to kids.
Right.
Especially with what I do, because all I do is just work hard. So like I'm a good role model to kids and to little kids to just be like me, I guess.
Which one of your teammates is ribbing you the hardest about the first time someone asked you for a picture? Which teammate was just giving you the business?
Shug Valles.
Yeah.
Number
what was
3.
he saying?
He was just going in on me.
Yeah.
Like that's the one. He was just the one.
Can you share with us some of the things he was saying the first time?
He was just like, can I please get your autograph, dude? So I'm like, bro, like, relax. I'm not that guy. Okay.
But it is pretty special, man. You should take that as a great compliment that kids in your community look up to the hard work, the product that they see, right? I mean, because they're not looking up to scrubs, they're not looking up to bums. Like, that's a big deal, man. And I think you should feel very good about that. We'll take our final time out here. I do want to talk about this year, your team goals moving forward, and then I want to talk about what's next. The recruiting obviously going to get hot and heavy here. Back with Deuce Benjamin in a moment.
You better call your friends, you better call Saul, because
the New Mexico Bowl is back.
That's right, Bob. Back at home in Albuquerque where it belongs. Saturday, December 18th, 12:15 at University Stadium. The PUBG Mobile New Mexico Bowl is a great matchup. UTEP Miners and Fresno State Bulldogs take center stage on the first Saturday of bowl season.
So join us. It's going to be super fun, a great party, and don't we all deserve one right now?
Yes, we do. Visit NewMexicoBowl.com. The PUBG Mobile New Mexico Bowl. Kickoff for kindness.
Hi, my name is Shannon Jackson with P&M. The holidays are around the corner, which means welcoming more family and friends into our home. Another thing the holidays bring are scams, and scammers are targeting P&M customers more than ever before. Oftentimes, scammers will mask our phone number, will call you claiming that you are behind on your electric bill. They will pressure you into paying over the phone, usually within an hour or less, or your power is going to be disconnected. This is a scam. The best way to handle these calls is to hang up and verify your own balance by pulling up your P&M bill. If you've been contacted by a scammer, please report it. Happy holidays, and help spread the word so no one falls victim to these scammers this season.
P&M are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results. Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep.
Final segment here with Deuce Benjamin of the Las Cruces Bulldogs. Deuce, let's talk about the season, and the goal obviously is a blue trophy. I know that. So what do you guys have to do to get there?
We just got to go hard in practice, work hard in practice, stay level-headed, focus on what we need to do as a team. Just those things, I think, will get us a blue trophy.
You guys look like you're having fun out there. That has to be part of it, right? I mean, I would imagine as a guard, it's pretty fun to play with Isaiah Carr.
Yes.
I mean, you don't have to do it. I could get a couple of assists playing with Isaiah Carr, right?
Yes.
Like just lob it up, right? Talk about how fun that is.
It's fun, especially me and him, because I met Carr when we were in the second grade, and we were friends. I hated Carr, first of all. Second grade, I
here we go.
Carr.
This is the kind of stuff we need.
Yeah.
All right.
At first,
Tell
I didn't
us about
like
that.
Carr.
Why?
I didn't like
Big
Carr.
guy picking on you or what?
No, it's just like,
okay.
Why is he so tall?
Oh, yeah?
That's why I didn't like it, because I was just a little guy.
All right.
And he was tall.
Okay.
And I didn't like Carr. And then sixth grade on, I was like, this is my guy. And then high school, that's my best friend. That's my guy.
Right. And as we move forward now to your next steps, playing at the next level, do you and Isaiah kind of talk about that a lot, right? You guys are in a familiar place, right? Trying to navigate the next level.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's made his decision, so you guys get to lean on each other a little bit there, or how's that look?
I'm happy for Carr signing with Grand Canyon. I'm happy for him, especially all the work he's put in. And I've seen him since we were youngins, so seeing him sign with Grand Canyon just shows all the work he's put in from the start. And for me, with my future coming up, I haven't decided where I want to go yet. But wherever I go, I know that I'm gonna work hard. I know I'm gonna try.
Does his process, getting to talk to him about his process, that help you make your decision? Obviously, you have your support system in place, but does that help? I mean, you got a teammate right there that kind of went through some of the same stuff, right?
Yeah, it helps, but I know that my path is different.
Right.
Especially what's going on now. I got transfer portal and all that type of stuff.
Let's talk about that path, okay? Let's talk about some schools. Obviously, New Mexico State showed interest right away, right? That's the hometown team, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what would that be like, putting on that same jersey as Pops?
Wouldn't be bad. Going to MSU wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be a bad choice. It would be a good choice to go there. But,
what's the school down the street? What's their, where are they at? Where's UNM at?
UNM, I mean, I haven't really heard nothing from UNM, but
coaching change there, so.
Yeah, I mean, that also wouldn't be a bad place to go to either.
Right. And what dream school, man? Like in your head, what's a dream scenario?
Dream school is UCLA.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, dream school is UCLA. got all my family down there, all my aunts, uncles, got everybody down there to see me play.
When did you realize that you're gonna play basketball beyond high school? When did that dream start?
Really when I was a kid.
Right.
Because I would always practice with the players, Joe Garza, all those guys. I grew up watching them play. And so I would always shoot around with them, hang out with them, and I was just like I want to play varsity.
Right.
Ever since then.
And then it just kind of clicked that, hey, this is going to keep going, right?
Yeah.
What about the thought of playing for money for someday, right? After college, right? There's some money to be made.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when did you start thinking that might be a realization?
When I was a kid.
Right.
Literally everything started when I was a kid. Wanting to play pro, make money, play varsity. All that started when I was a kid.
I'm sure you weren't running around the house screaming, "Show me the money," but that starts at a pretty young age, right? You turn it on TV, you see the guys on TV, and that's what you want to do, right?
Yeah. Grew up a Laker fan at first, and I switched to OKC, but grew up a Laker fan because of Kobe.
Right.
So I grew up watching Kobe when he was 24, and just watching him was what made me want to go play in the NBA.
How do you anticipate this process working out now? When will you make a decision? What does it look like right now in the Benjamin household when you're you're getting the letters, you're navigating through this process? What does that look like right now? How do you envision it ending? When do you envision the decision being made?
Probably end up signing late.
Right.
Probably end up signing late. Haven't really, schools sending letters, talking to my dad sending off film to them.
Right.
So I'll probably end up signing late in the year.
When that moment comes, all that hard work finally pays off, right? The amount of hard work you've put in, I don't think people realize the sacrifices. There has to be nights where you're just thinking, man, I would love to go out with my friends right now, but now I'm going to go get another workout in. Or I'd love to go do this, but now I'm going to go get some shots up. Talk about the sacrifices that you're making, your teammates, that every high school basketball player makes at your level, right? Because, there's a lot going on socially with your friends, I'm sure, that you're not taking part of because of hoops, right?
Yeah. A lot of sacrifice has been put into what I've been through. And I don't have shame about that either, because look what it's led up to. So I don't have no shame in taking nights off with my friends and going to shoot or going to go play or none of that.
Right. And the whole COVID thing had to be another kind of variable that, here you are having this phenomenal career, and then COVID happens right in the middle of it. There has to be times where you're thinking man, this sucks.
Yeah, especially with all the work that I was putting into, especially with my athletic ability. There would just be some days where I would just be so tired.
Right.
I would just be worn out, then I just still wake up tomorrow. Still got to wake up, still got to put in work and all that.
Well, we're going to see you one more time kind of in the city, right? You guys do come back against Las Lunas, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. But good luck the rest of the way, Deuce. Continued success, man. I'm really glad we made the time.
Yeah, thanks.
And thanks, Deuce Benjamin, for coming in, and thank you for watching. Good night, everybody.